Mrs. A. Today I won't be acting as Mrs. A, I'll just be Mummy. But I just wanted to explain to you guys what I've got planned for my twins, and Mayiah will take part as well, as much as she can. Because my boys are isolating until the 29th of March. I didn't want them to miss out on schoolwork, so I've just put together a little something. And as you know, even if they were going to school, I still work with them every day, so it's not really a massive change. But being at home with them just gives me a little bit more time to plan something a bit more consistent. So, from my understanding from asking the twins, they have been learning about money. So how I've organized to talk to them about money throughout the week is we are going to look at what, why, who, how, where, and when. And as most of my sessions, I always try to link it to life skills, because there's no point learning something if you can't use it in life. So, in the what section, I'll be looking at the history of money, where it came from, what other currencies existed then, for example in the Bronze Age and things like that. We are going to be looking at what is the current situation for money. We'll be looking at what their predictions are for the future. We'll talk and look at different currencies. We'll look at loyalty cards, for example, because the points that we get in, is it a co-op card, a co-op membership card, can also be used as a currency to buy something. And we'll be also looking at credit cards or credit notes. And the interesting part is that I will be separating virtual money from physical money. So we'll be looking at that comparison. And that also links into making it meaningful and relevant to them in terms of the V-Bucks that they buy on their gaming site. So it's sort of bringing and merging together their current life and money in general. In terms of the why, we will be discussing, do we need it? Do we need money? And why? Why do they think we need money? What could we use instead of the current currencies that we have at the moment? So we might explore things like the cryptocurrency and different things that are bubbling in the virtual world. Why do people use currency, and why do people use different currency like the euro, and different countries have different money? In terms of who, we will be looking at who uses money. So I've put a few here: businesses, the government, adults, children, etc. So I've put these here, but first I will want to know what their thoughts are before making my own input. I will look at how, so how to use money, what's the correct way to use money, and is there an inappropriate way to use money? And what does that look like for adults? For example, when some adults get credit and then they could lose their job for an unfortunate reason, or gambling and things like that. Not to say that it's bad, but what are the two sides of using money? The good bits and the bad bits. Different types of payment format. So we've got the cards that we just swipe. We've got physical money, the notes and the coins. We've got, like I mentioned, virtual money as well. So we'll just sort of be discussing those. And then where do we use money? I've just put here physical locations that we will explore, and we've got virtual locations, which is the one that tends to be most relevant to the young generation. Everything is bought online, our shopping, clothing, gaming, points, V-Bucks, Robux and things like that. And then when do we use, or when do we need to use money? So I've put, do we use it for need, want, for negotiations, For example, business to business, they tend to use money for negotiations. I've also put bribe in there. Again, I'm exploring through a 360 lens. Just expanding their awareness and things like that. And as well, some of the topics that I've put in here, it's not just applicable to year 3. So I thought to make this as relevant to different age groups. And then I've also added on their charity, so using money to give, to help others. So looking at the good and the bad. It's about acknowledging, recognizing, accepting, and then how do you make an informed decision. So I didn't think it would be helpful to just discuss the normal, usual bits if it's not preparing them for tomorrow. How am I aiming to apply this? I might ask them to buy something. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. At the moment, we are isolating, so we won't be able to actually go into the shops and buying something, so we try to stay at home as much as possible. I will use personalized money word problems, so I might get some worksheets of Twinkle. You may also use TES. If you have access to Education City, you might get some on there as well. And yeah, let me know if you need some more websites, and I'll just sort of pop you a message down or just reply to your comment. And what I mean by personalized is I'll be changing the names. So if I give a sheet to Nathan, or if I explain a word problem to Nathan, I would say Nathan went on Fortnite and he wanted to buy 5,000 V-Bucks. He had £10 that was given from his mummy. So it makes it realistic, and it helps understanding because it's bringing the education and the learning into their own reality. And for example, for Nason, I would use Ben and Holly, or for example, buying different characters from Ben and Holly. And he also likes snacks. They love snacks. So I'll be thinking about how much would you need to buy your biscuits? What would the change be? And I would use his own name. And Mayiah, yes. And I would say Mayiah, she loves Play-Doh. So we will be looking at a few coins and things like that. Okay. And then I would encourage, if it's possible, for the children to see physical money, but not just the money, the bank cards, they can touch it, they can see it, the loyalty cards, and you can explain how it works, how do the points get onto it. Boots does points, Boots and Superdrug, they do points. So how do the points then translate into money? So just creating that link and connection, that is not just notes and coins. So there is a variety, and how can they make best use of it when they grow up. Okay, and lastly, I'm trying to not to speak too much. Lastly, I've put here a drawing of a hook because we need to try and make it relevant for them. The learning is for them to take on to wherever they need to use it tomorrow, the next day, the next year when they grow up. So I will be using Among Us. I'll be using Ben and Holly, The Next Step, Monopoly, as in the game. I could use Ryan, yeah, because Ryan is in the shops and you can buy Ryan toys. So she really likes Ryan. Just Dance, Snacks, Fortnite. So again, yes you do. So it's just about how can I bring the best engagement in them so that they take from the lesson what they need and that it actually stays with them because it was made relevant. So this is what I will be covering for maths this week. So this is for a week. And just remember, although I spoke a lot and it seems very technical and very formal, most of these sessions won't be sitting down on a table. It might be YouTube videos, for example, to see how other people use money around the world. It might be looking at websites, charity websites. It might be, okay, switch on the Xbox. Let's see how to buy V-Bucks, the cost. If I have coins and notes, can you make the money that you need to buy those V-Bucks? What does it look like in your hand? And what would it look like because you have to buy it online? What does it mean? Because online or virtual money, you can't see it, you can't feel it leaving your pocket, sort of thing. Whereas the coins and the money, it's more tangible. You can see it. You know, your wallet's empty. So it won't be a sitting down thing. And we could also play shop. You know, I could set up something, I don't know, in the kitchen. Nathan really likes oranges, so I could ask him to, you know, buy oranges from me or from his sister or something like that. Or they could negotiate the price. Yeah. So don't think that this is all going to be boring and they're not going to have fun. They will. And there's again Monopoly, and we'll watch videos and things like that. So always trying to bring play into their session and making it fun. And again, it's things that they're interested in. So I'm sure they would love to know how people actually buy and do these things. I just want to quickly, sorry, apologies about my voice, it's a bit funny, move on to English, and I'll just give you a quick rundown as to what I've got prepared for English. As you know, if you follow my pages, I'm on Instagram at Mrs. A Tutoring, and I'll just put it down below so you can see it. So on there, I think I've shared a post where I talked about an essay that I asked the children to do about why education is important. Why education is important. And again, when I say writing an essay, it's all about the skills that they're going to need for tomorrow. We are living for today, but we need to realize that our children are the tomorrow's generation. So yes, we do talk about essays and things like that. It's just healthy exposure. So, but again, nothing technical. I will explain how I sort of help them structure their writing. So we've talked about why education is important. So for me, I would class this as work. Yeah, learning, improving ourselves. This is self-development. I'll just put self-development, which we would class as work for children. Yeah. They go to school is what's the equivalent from adults going to work. So, what are we going to be talking this week? And I love it. I'm so happy. And there's a reason why we started with education. So for this week, I would like them to write an essay about why is play important? Why is play important? And again, children play all the time, and it's great. They need it. Even adults, we all need it to be a little bit fun. So why is play important? They play all the time, but I would love to know and understand from their point of view what it actually means to them. And remember that I always try to go through a whole 360 perspective, like we did with education. They spoke about the good, and they also spoke about the bad. or the negatives or the negative experiences. So when we're going to talk or write about play, I would like them to talk about the good, and if they think there's any negatives. So we will be using like, it depends on the levels. So David actually used a SWOT as well for his why education is important. So although David is attending school, he will also take part in this after he's finished from school and playing and things like that. So I would sort of expect from David another SWOT. But he kind of knows how to do these things anyway, because it's something that we really talk about all the time. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is the essay. I'll take this one because we've already done it. But yeah, check on my Instagram if you wanted to see what the boys wrote. So in terms of the essay writing, at the moment, all I tell them is to explain what they are going to be talking about, explain what you will be talking about. So that's your first section, your first paragraph. Your second paragraph, or your second section, is when you talk about what you said you were going to talk about. So this is when you talk about it. Oh, explain. Talk about it. About it. The last section. So first it explain what you will talk about. Second section, talk about it. Last section, summarize. Okay? Summarize what's been discussed. And here I would expect maybe two to three sentences, no more than that, just to summarize what you've talked about. And that is as simple as that. Even for David at year 7, just to try and keep it that way. But again, each child works differently, but as long as you are exposing them to some kind of different things, different types and styles of writing, it doesn't hurt. But yeah. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to go now. I hope that you have enjoyed. I hope that this was helpful. And I hope that you enjoy your home learning with your family. And again, you can do these in really bite-sized chunks, really small. If you're working, studying, as parents and carers, we wear many hats. So really small, a play here, a play there, and they will be taking it in. They will, slowly and gradually. It's still progress. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening and for taking the time for joining into my page. If you are new here and you've enjoyed what you have seen, hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget the notifications so that you get an alert as to when I post another video. Happy learning. This is Home Learning Together, and I'm Mrs. A. Bye-bye.